Hello, you lovely lots, and welcome back to Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast. I am your host, as always, Josh Carr, and it's time for something a little bit different. We are covering, of course, the new series of Doctor Who. So I am going to be here for the next 8 weeks, weekly rather than fortnightly, with very special guests for every single episode. And today is no different. I've got a fantastic guest with me, someone who's been on the show before, but many, many moons ago in the early days of Who Knew, and has triumphantly returned to speak to me about the Robot Revolution, the first episode of Series 2. It is the ever-wonderful Molly Martian. How are you, Molly?
Hello, I'm well. I just finished watching the episode like 10 minutes ago.
It's fresh. It's fresh in the mind.
Look, it's funny. I'm sure we'll get to this, but the 8 a.m. thing, I can't with that. You know,
You're not a fan? I was going to ask you.
The midnight thing was actually fine because I know people complained about that and it was a bit weird, but that's Friday night. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm a grown up. I'm usually up at 12 a.m. on a Friday night anyway, so I could just watch it on a Friday night. 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. It's like, okay,
it's a bit wild, isn't it? I mean, I'm very much. I mean, either suit me really, because I just don't really sleep that much. So I'm a late night and an early morning. It did take some adjustment this morning. I mean, just for context, it's about midday on the Saturday that we're recording this. So I've been up for a few hours, and it was a bit strange. I mean, I sort of was like, can I just embrace Doctor Who as like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing?
Yeah, and there was a bit of a Saturday morning cartoon vibe to the episode, actually. But yeah, it gave me the same feeling of like watching it when you've been out the night before and you've missed it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when I would have watched Doctor on a Sunday morning because I missed it on the Saturday night.
That, yeah.
But I hadn't missed it.
Well, yeah, it's a new experience, you know. But let's take it back a bit, because obviously the Who Knew went on hiatus for a little while, and therefore I never covered the 60th anniversary specials. I never covered Series 1, and then I just came back for just before Joyce of the World. So we never really spoke about it on the podcast, and I've never really shared my thoughts on it, mainly because sharing opinions on Doctor Who on the internet is a terrible idea. But I'm intrigued. Let's do a little recap. RTD2 so far.
Well, first of all, before we do that, I'm honoured to be the first guest post Quiz Chibnall on Who Knew.
Yes, you are. Thank you very much. Well,
it feels amazing.
Self-plug there. Yeah, I mean, you are very much the headline act. Quiz Chibnall's.
I feel thrilled.
Just underneath, yeah.
Tough act to follow.
Yeah, it's been a very mad week for the podcast. I'll tell you that. It's been very, very fun. The trolls have just started. It's quite funny. Some really, really whiny
I can imagine. In
the comments section, I got called a left-wing disgrace, which I might get tattooed, if I'm honest. I really, really like it. I really like being like a left-wing disgrace. I think someone called me, I don't know if they called me or Chris, a slug. I also quite like that. I might get left-wing slug.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. It's
good,
that one. But
on your neck.
Yeah.
Left-wing slug.
Oh yeah, like a prison tat. I like that.
Yeah, so sick. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I do just want to say most of the comments on the Quiz Chibnall one have been incredibly lovely. Thank you, everybody who's listened.
I'm
sure. Been absolutely nuts. Within 9 hours, it was the most listened to podcast I've ever released in 9 hours. Yeah. So it was nuts. So thank you, everybody. But I don't want to focus on the few little negative dickheads.
For sure. Yeah, RTD2 so far.
Yeah.
60th specials, I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought it was a great time. Star Beast, I have my issues with. As a trans person, I thought it was all a bit boomer. I think it really betrayed like how the writing of the sort of transgender denouement of the episode was very. It was clearly written from the point of view of somebody who doesn't really get trans people. But aside from that, it was a lot of fun. I love David Tennant as 14.
Yeah.
I thought he was brilliant. Rob Blue Yonder, wow.
Oh, it's probably the best of the era for me so far.
Probably still the best of the era, yeah. It's funny, with the series 1, the first Shooty series, I have to say the further I get away from it, the less I like it.
I am exactly the same. Exactly the same, I think.
At the time, don't tell your close personal friend Chibnall that I said this, but I think as the series was going out, I had this feeling of fucking hell, thank God the last 6 years is over. Do you know what I mean? Because I was not a big fan of the Chibnall years.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So I think I was very much like, oh God, this is a breath of fresh air. I'm glad we're in this new era. Like, I've been waiting for this for ages. But actually, it was a mixed bag of a series, and the finale was a strange one. I don't know. I think if there's a master narrative to like what's gone wrong with this new era, it's that I think Russell has too much power. I think he obviously is great, has written some of the best Doctor Who ever, including some of the best episodes of this era, like, we know, without a doubt. However, I wonder whether he could have been better taking a step back, being more of an exec producer
than a showrunner.
Not even more than a show, like maybe more of a showrunner than a head writer, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's been loads to love, 73 yards, spooky AF, really weird, not like anything we've had in Doctor Who before. Dot and Bubble, amazing little political little monster of an episode, loved it. Love Rogue, one of the best things in the era, like a real model for how we can take the Doctor Who we know and love and modernize it for 2024. Was incredible. Boom, oh my God, like,
Boom's another one
Stephen
that
Moffat
was incredible for me.
At his best, like, incredible. Ncuti Gatwa clearly loved, I mean, he said it in interviews, but like loves to say dialogue written by Stephen Moffat and is really good at saying dialogue written by Stephen Moffat.
Yeah.
Because I think his best 2 performances as the Doctor have been Boom and Joy to the World. I've loved him as the Doctor, and I loved his dynamic with Millie Gibson in that first series. I think no matter how much I like the episodes, like even the finale, which I really did not love, I thought they were so good together. Like, and I thought the performances elevated even those scripts that weren't quite as strong. Even an episode like Space Babies, which is fine. I don't think it's like the worst thing ever, like some people do. I do think it's an odd way to open a series. But I thought it was like so elevated by the performances of Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. Like, you're just loving watching it. Whatever they're saying or doing. Yeah. Because they're so electric.
That was definitely
do you know what I mean?
my experience the first time round. I have got some complicated feelings here. I've got big feelings. Diddums.
Okay.
But basically, I think I'm on the record saying that I don't think the quality gap in Doctor Who from series to series, from episode to episode, is as big as people think it is. I think the worst episode of Doctor Who is not really that far away from the best episode of Doctor Who. It's probably like a few tweaks away, and no episode of Doctor Who is the best media ever made, and no episode of Doctor Who is the worst media ever made. People just love to think.
I agree with that second statement you've made.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree less with the first statement you made.
That's fine. That's absolutely fair. I mean, I just think a lot of the time, minor things, but I have steadily become a little bit disassociated from Doctor Who throughout this era, and I feel a little bit disconnected, or I have felt a bit disconnected. We'll get onto that. I loved the 60th. The giggle was probably my least favourite of the 3.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think the first half an hour was sort of just a barrage of information and nonsense. I did enjoy the second half. Like, it sort of picks the episode up for me.
That first half, though, is so great with the weird, like, puppets and the spooky corridors.
It's that sort of 10 to 15 minute segment in Unit.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Really, in Unit Tower, really kills a lot of a lot of the episode for me because it's just like Mel's here. Oh, look, unit tower. Kate's here. Here's this. Here's that. Oh, music notes. Here's this. Oh, we found that. Oh, we've done that. And then it's like, oh, we've literally. I feel like we've done half a series in about 15 minutes, and it's just very rapid fire.
Can we coin a term as that's like the unit tower problem?
The unit tower
because
problem.
It kind of happens again at the end of.
It does.
The end of the series, right? Is that like 15 and Ruby rock up at Unit Tower?
Is my issues with Legend of Ruby Sunday as well. It's all just a bit of a barrage of information to get us to the next bit. So yeah, in terms of the 60th specials, I loved the Star Beast. It was just, obviously, there's issues with it. I'm not saying it's a flawless episode by any means, but it was just a bit of a romp and a bit of it was just nostalgia. It was nostalgia bait. To quote another favourite podcast of mine, it's nostalgia bait.
But it's good nostalgia bait.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a bit daft. There's a bit of nonsense in there, but I really enjoyed it. And seeing Beat the Meep on the screen was fucking phenomenal. But yeah, then we get to Series 1, and I would say the way that I would review Series 1, and again, I'm very wary of oversharing opinions and coming off as very reactionary or anything, but I have sat on this for a year. So pretty much every episode I enjoy in isolation. Some more than others, like Boom and Rogue are the standouts for me. I enjoy them in isolation, but the package as a series does not fulfill me, really, because I think between...
An unfulfilling package.
Yeah.
I've sadly heard that one before.
So have I. It's the Doctor and Ruby for me. I love the dynamic between Shooty and Millie. They're fantastic, but there was just a little something missing. Yeah, and the word that I keep coming back to is conflict. It was just, and I really like the whole best mates traveling through space thing. It's a really nice approach to it, but I argue with my best mates. I have disagreements with
for sure.
Not even arguments. I don't want like a fifth Doctor, everyone hates each other kind of TARDIS team, but just some level of disagreements in some scenarios. It just felt like there was none of that, and that was my biggest concern, really. And I just felt like if nothing matters to them, why does it matter to me? Does that make sense?
It really felt like. That two amazing actors kind of... The image I'm getting is when they're dancing on Abbey Road, the Abbey Road zebra crossing, and it's lighting up. And that feels to me, that image feels emblematic of kind of their vibe in the season, of their kind of dancing through these stories in a way that... Yeah, and you're right. And not to get ahead of ourselves, but I think it feels like there's some... much needed course correction on that front.
Yeah, we'll get. We will get to that.
We'll get there, but
get there. And the way that I would also describe it is that their dynamic when watching Doctor Who Unleashed is the same as in the episodes, which is cool. Sure, because it's like, oh, we're seeing their genuine friendship on the screen. That's great. It's similar to what we get with David and Catherine. But alongside that, we also get that they challenge each other and they challenge each other as characters.
For sure.
And that's why, for me, it's sort of just petered out. And I enjoy the episodes. I will go back and watch them in isolation and love them. But when I watch the series as a whole, it doesn't really connect with me. I just don't have that same connection. And Joy to the World was sort of the point where I was like, maybe this one isn't for me, which I've never felt before. I've never felt that before.
Wow.
It really hurt me because I am very much known as the clapping seal who, if something's got Doctor Who written on it, I'm there. It's fine.
Sure.
It's not like I was ever going to stop watching it, but I'll just go, okay, this one isn't.
No,
I don't vibe with it as much. That's fine. I'll wait for the next one, and I'll carry on watching.
Yeah.
But I was wary of Doctor Who becoming another show. Just another show like that I watch, rather than Doctor Who, which to me is just a very different relationship that I have with it. And it was really weird.
Yeah, I think that whole thing of I'll never stop watching is true for me too. Yeah. Like I'll just they could broadcast like 45 minutes of cheating out while farting into a microphone,
Yeah.
and I'd still watch it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I will watch it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's what I dealt with for the whole Chibnall era was, oh, this one isn't for me.
Yeah.
It's therefore been a bit of a process for me being like assuming this one would be for me.
Yeah.
And then
maybe
getting to a place where I'm like,
yeah.
oh, maybe not this one either.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that leads us on to series 2. Obviously, it's just started, and we've seen the first episode. Building up to series 2, then after that point, where were you at? Were you excited? Were you hyped? Were you cautious?
Yeah, I've been sort of like apprehensive, I suppose. Like, I've not been dreading it. I've not been super hyped either. I guess it's been hard to get hyped when all anyone's talking about is, will Doctor Who get cancelled? Do you know what I mean? Which is it's really fucking frustrating.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, isn't it? Especially this week, I think it's really ramped up in the build up to the episodes, because obviously there was that news round interview. Which,
yeah.
Maybe some people are reading into it too much, but it is, people are going to do that. It's just that's the Doctor Who fandom.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound good, but
No.
I found myself thinking and feeling things about that more than about there are 8 new episodes of Doctor Who on the way. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I don't know if you feel like this as a fellow podcaster, but sometimes I can get in my head thinking about, oh, how am I going to cover these episodes?
Yeah, I mean,
for the podcast.
Carr had a bit of a funny thing with that, because and again, this links back to sort of my connection. This is very strange for me. The first time ever since watching the show where my hype levels have been nowhere. I was just like, I had nothing, and I was waiting. I think I tweeted out earlier this week. I was like, I'm waiting for that kid in me to wake up and just be like, oh my God, Doctor Who's on next week. And I was like, oh, Doctor Who's on this week. Oh, Doctor Who's on in 3 days. Oh, Doctor Who's on tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I was stood in my kitchen at 1 minute to 8, and I was like, Doctor Who's on in 1 minute. And I was like, he's still not here. And I was just, it's not come. And I just sort of had to accept it. And it was weird. And the podcast is actually the thing that was like, got me a little bit off the floor. I was like, okay, I'll get excited for the podcast, and then I'm technically getting excited for Doctor Who. So that's sort of what I've had to do instead.
It's different because it's like you're getting excited for your creative project, isn't it? And it's like the feelings you're having are different. Like, for instance, for that second episode, Lux, obviously, in theory, like, it's so exciting. Like, it's this animated villain. Like, it looks like a really interesting idea. But the main thing I was thinking of was, oh, I know this guy who's an animator. Like, maybe I could get him on the podcast.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, organizing that, and like you sort of end up becoming it's all over intellectualized as well, right? Like, even this fact of like, it's maybe the pressure, like the fact that you're not hyped. It's like, well, if you're waiting to be hyped, you're not gonna be hyped. Like,
that's the problem. Yeah.
A watch pot never boils. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little bit like when you're, I don't know whether, maybe this is a little candid, but if you've been in a long-term relationship and you're like, oh, I just don't feel like having sex at the moment. and you're like, but the worst thing you could do is like try and talk yourself into being excited to have sex, right?
No, because
you're just never gonna be
bang on
horny. But and I think it's like trying to get yourself hyped for Doctor Who. It's like trying to fluff yourself up.
The week being sad that I don't want to fuck Doctor Who. That's where we're at.
I mean, I would say I still want to fuck Doctor Who, but maybe that's just cheating out.
Yeah.
But yes, sorry, I've made your podcast all tawdry.
Oh, don't worry.
But I thought it was a good analogy. I thought it was a good analogy.
It's been in the pits for a while. It's fine. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Well, I mean, sperm got mentioned in Doctor Who, possibly for the first time.
Oh my God!
This week.
Yeah, they made Alan into cum.
They did. I mean, Chloe must be having a field day. Obviously,
Oh my God.
the
Yeah,
Rebel Thresh
true.
callback.
Wow.
Let's talk about the robot revolution. I feel like we've been skirting around the
shall
topic
we?
for a while.
Okay, fine.
Give me your initial, because you're very fresh from this. You're a little bit fresher out of it than I am. Give me your initial reaction.
Okay. I thought it was really great, actually. I thought it was better than I'd expected. The Radio Times were a bit rude about it. And usually they're like up the arse of Doctor Who. So I was quite like, oh, when and the Radio Times described the ending as ludicrous. So I was a bit like, oh God, what's he done this time?
Yeah. Is it Jesus again?
Right.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, I didn't mind the Jesus thing, but like, is it like a Russell T Davies Deus Ex Machina? Is it just daft? And I have this thing about Russell always writes silly season openers.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And I don't know why he thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, why does he think that's what people want? I don't really know. And the trailers weren't really suggesting to me that this was going to be anything other than a silly season opener. Like, the robots were very Sarah Jane Adventures coded.
They were. Yeah.
Just the entire vibe of it seemed quite childish, quite like daft. And it was, but it was also like a really solid narrative. And I think probably Russell's best season opener since, I mean, maybe my Partners in Crime, maybe since Partners in Crime.
I was going to say I would. Well, I'll reveal my thoughts. I loved it as well. I really,
great.
really liked
I'm so
it.
pleased.
I was so happy.
It's such a good time.
And I wonder if going in with no expectations did help. But I was watching it, and it's actually the first time in a while, because I wasn't hyped. I was like, oh shit, I'm actually enjoying this.
Yeah,
I got about 10 minutes in, and I'm like, oh God. And I was like, also,
oh, this is a good time.
I quite like the pacing, and I really, really liked it. And I would go as far as to say maybe his best series opener since Smith and Jones, I would say. And
okay, fine.
Maybe the best series opener. If I'm being cautious, knowing that I probably need to rewatch it, I'd say since Deep Breath or the pilot. But if I'm being, my initial reaction is to say the 11th Hour, which is a big thing to say.
Whoa, that's a high bar.
The best series opener in 15 years. But I
can't agree with that, because
fine.
I do think Deep Breath holds such a special place in my heart.
I think I will probably amend that after a rewatch.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably say...
But to even feel like that is amazing.
Really good. Yeah, because it's first impressions, and first impressions, as we know, especially with Doctor Who or everything, there is an element of frustration where I'm like, oh, this is a great jumping on point for Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Space Babies I enjoyed, but may not have been. I just really had a great time with it. I mean, the pre-titles, first of all, is jam-packed.
Yeah, I mean, so much happens.
Belinda is off the planet by the title sequence, which is crazy. And I don't feel like, because I've had issues with things being very rushed in this era as well, and feeling like we're just getting to try and get to the action all the time and not taking moments. But that felt really well paced.
And it felt rushed in a really deliberate way.
Yeah.
It felt rushed in a way that we as the viewer were getting rushed along with Belinda.
Yeah.
Like, Belinda didn't have time to think about what was happening to her, and neither did we.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There was something amazing about that. Can we talk about how amazing she is?
Yeah, fantastic.
Like,
fantastic.
Fuck off. She's so amazing.
Yeah.
And the character, like, it's so... I was kind of worried because, and not to get into gossip and whatever, but because there's maybe rumors that this wasn't always the plan, and we're maybe meant to have Ruby for another year, or, I was worried about, are some of these episodes kind of going to be hastily written to...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Is it going to feel like
Belinda's
copied and pasted onto where Ruby should be? That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like that at all. Like, there couldn't be a more different character. Like, the companion that's like the companion who doesn't want to be there. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, what an idea! I mean, I know we've done it before with the classic series, but like for New Who, it's a first. And like this like actually, Doctor, you're being a problem.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, like I thought it's such a cool and interesting idea, you know.
I loved it, and I just think,
And she's kind of unlikable in a way. Like she's so likable because she's so clearly so caring, such a good person. Like she's a nurse and she just like immediately clicks into gear on the planet and helps everybody and she's like badass and putting the Doctor in his place and whatever. And that is likable to an extent. But also as a viewer, it can feel like, oh, don't tell the Doctor off. Like I love the Doctor. You know, he's my favorite and I love him.
yeah,
So like
there's that element of not giving him the benefit of the doubt for everything, and that's
but
great.
Isn't that such an interesting character to have on screen, right? Someone who's, because by challenging the Doctor, she's also kind of challenging us.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And to see the 15th, I will let you speak in a minute.
No, go for it.
To see the 15th Doctor and how he reacts to being challenged, right? So different to a Doctor like the 10th Doctor or the 12th Doctor, or even, let's be realistic, the 13th Doctor, who, when she was challenged, was like, who condescended to her companions and whatever. I think to see this like very human incarnation of the Doctor be like, and this Doctor who's like learned so much through the bi-generation and whatever, to be like, oh yeah, you're so right, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, isn't it nice to see that on script? Like in a world when like everyone's screaming, "Oh, cancel culture!" Just to see a character who get called out for their shit and just go, "Yeah, fair play, yeah, soz." Like that's just all people ask for. And it's just really nice to see on screen. And I think Vardha Sethu is the rocket up the arse that this era needed for me.
Yeah,
I think I've loved Shooty so far. In every episode, he's been fantastic. He's just perfect for the role. But that dynamic has taken his performances to another level. And
definitely,
like for example, obviously we meet Sasha 55, who I'm affectionately going to dub the new Katarina. It's just basically broken the record as technically an official companion now. I'm gonna say Sasha 55 is a companion.
Give over.
Yeah. 6 months. Give over. 6 months with the Doctor.
Well, what if she's a companion? Then that girl from the Christmas one is a companion.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, come on.
No,
they have to
Sasha
travel
55.
in the TARDIS. They have to travel in the TARDIS.
She might have nipped in. You never know.
She might have nipped in. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think we
hang on.
Her.
Isn't Michelle Ryan? Isn't Lady Christina de Souza counted as a companion?
By some sources, but I don't support them.
I don't support that either. Okay. Well, Sasha 55. That's an example of something where I would feel like in a different. Maybe if this was done in series 1, I wouldn't have bought that connection. And sure. I think I think Shooty's performances were already good and have gone up another level, so that he really fucking sells that.
He sold it,
he really
big time.
does sell it. And I'd actually quite like that to be maybe referenced, because it now feel a little bit weird to just do an Adric and just forget about that. I'd maybe like it to be brought up again in future episodes. Just small mentions here and there, because even though we've not gone through that, the Doctor has, and you have to sell that to us.
Sure, definitely.
So yeah, I really liked that aspect. I liked the idea of seeing a companion that sort of never was, but was in universe, and then they've just
it's a cool idea actually. Yeah, it's a cool idea.
I really, really liked it. Just to jump back slightly, Justice for the cat. We had a cat death.
My God,
really sad.
Brutal.
Quite a brutal cat.
A cat death we saw on screen.
Yeah.
Like, we saw the skeleton of the cat.
Yeah, I mean, really, really rough. But I think the humour was great as well.
Oh
I
my
think
god, yeah.
I was laughing my head off then. Like, the cat is irrelevant was like got me.
Yeah, so good.
And then the cat is still irrelevant really got me. I was just like, oh, this feels like going back to sort of I've watched quite a bit of series 1 recently. That doesn't narrow it fucking down, does it now? Because there's 3. I've been watching the 2005 series 1. And just that wit, that sort of human wit that Russell has, like when he's writing lines for Jackie that's like, well, she is Greek, but that doesn't matter, like stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That felt like, oh, this is, but that Russell's back. I feel like he's warmed back up to that, and it was really, really great. Mrs. Flood as well.
Okay, so is the idea that she lives on the same street as Ruby? Or is Mrs. Flood moved?
No, I think the idea is that there's a theory. Do you want to hear a theory? That she is Lucifer.
Okay.
Because 73 yards was 66.7 meters.
Right.
And 667 as a number is known as the neighbor of the beast.
Sure. Okay.
So, I mean, it's a reach. It could be a reach. But the idea that she's also Belinda's neighbor, obviously I think that's just playing around. Like, she's just going to be everyone's neighbor.
Yeah,
that's how she blends in, because she's just that neighbor.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
And
she looked at us again.
Yeah, what did she say? I can't remember what she said. Did she say, "Oh, you didn't see me"? I think.
Yeah,
I think she just said, "You didn't see me." Very cool.
Love that.
Very, very strange. But I wasn't, again, from series 1. I didn't really give a shit about Mrs. Flood. I was like, I don't really care who Mrs. Flood is going to be after this episode, because I now feel a little bit more hope for the series and a little bit more excited.
I just
sort of pull me in a bit.
Don't make her something from the classic series, please. Please don't do it.
Something new would be really cool.
It would be just cool for her to be something new, or like anything but something from the classic series. Like, don't do it. Don't do it.
She's the Rani, isn't she?
No, Josh. Josh, she's not the Rani.
Molly, she's the Rani.
No, I don't want that.
I know. So where were we up to in the episode? So let's go onto the planet.
Right.
Post credits and everything.
Wait, hang on. I want to pick something else apart for a minute. So the pre-credit sequence starts 17 years ago. So that's what, 2007?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. No.
2008.
2008. Yeah.
So how old is Belinda supposed to be? Because the actor, Varadasethu, is
She's like
32.
mid-30s?
She's 32, so she's not much older than me. So
that would make her...
would
I think
make
she's
her
meant to be a teenager in that scene.
It would make her like 14 or something in 2008.
Yeah, I mean, they're very much doing the, a 30-year-old. It's the Spider-Man effect of these 30-year-olds are teenagers, just go with
for
it.
Sure. But what it means also, though, is that present day Belinda, Varadasethu's playing older.
Yeah, maybe aged up, yeah.
She has to be, because otherwise she'd be like 13, and I'm not buying that.
Yeah. Well, I quite like that. I mean, isn't that weird? That so it technically she's like 15 years older than Ruby.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's a bit wild, isn't it? Yeah.
But I like that she is older, even if she's only mid-30s. Like, it's cool, because Ruby was meant to be 18, so like, I think it's just cool to have. And it makes sense of why she's like so headstrong, right? Is that she's just older and that she's got that life experience. She's been a nurse for a while. It's so interesting as well, like anthropologically, because I feel like 20 years ago, the idea of depicting someone on screen who is in their mid-30s living in a grotty flat share would have been like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Whereas now, that is very much normal. Like, I'm 30 in August. I live in a flat share. Like, that is the economic reality of 2025, especially in London. So yeah, how interesting. Yeah, so she must be supposed to be mid-30s.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get more of that. I'd quite like, and then obviously an extra 6 months now because of the little time jump
because
thing.
the little time jump.
Um,
But she's not
yeah.
actually 6 months older.
No. Is she? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Do I care? I
Like,
don't
her
really
body
care.
isn't 6 months older.
Yeah.
Not that really matters, but
I liked that. I liked the what do they call it? The swoop?
the swoop.
The swoop. That was well done. I quite liked that.
It was a good effect.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, obviously, they mess with that a bit because it's like, oh, you only went back 6 months, but this went back 5,000 years, and then this did that. I was like, yeah, I can let the mechanics of this thing
it's
over
whatever.
me. That's
it's
fine.
Whatever.
It's one of those things. The scene that I wanted to talk about, which I think might be my favourite scene of the episode, is when Belinda's on the throne and the Doctor comes forward as the historian, and it's the every ninth word thing.
Yeah.
Loved that. It's so clever. I just one of those ideas where it's like, that's really rewarding.
It was clever. Yeah. It was a really cool way to introduce the Doctor to the episode too.
Yeah. I just think that's the kind of thing that rewards multiple viewings as well, because it's like, now you're going to go back and watch it with that knowledge, and you're going to be like, oh, now I can rewatch it and sort of focus on every ninth word. And obviously it comes back again later in the episode with the villain. I just think it's really, really cool. And I just think
it was a cool idea. Yeah.
Go on. I feel like you've got something to say about this.
I do have something to say about it. I do think in general, maybe, sorry if I'm such a negative Nelly, I feel like one of my criticisms with series 1 was it feels a bit dumbed down, right? Like it's not even that it's like more for children, because I don't think it is more for children. I don't think it's intended to be more for children. I think it just doesn't trust its audience quite so much. I wonder whether this is Disney poking their oars in, being like, can you explain this more?
Yeah.
But little things like in Space Babies, where the Doctor's explaining the TARDIS translation circuit to Ruby, and for some reason the episode doesn't trust us to understand that without him waving at the screen and us seeing the translation happen.
Yeah.
I feel like this episode was similar in that 9-word scene, because like anyone with a brain can see immediately that he's talking to her in code, right? Like,
yeah, it's the emphasis, because he's
to me,
doing it really, really well,
right? And you pick up on that, and then eventually you're sort of following it along with Belinda, and then you're listening for the ninth word, and that's cool. And then it shows you a sort of like mini cut up flashback of all the words together.
That's the bit where I'm like, okay, yeah.
I was like, I didn't need that. I'm clever enough.
I'm following it. Yeah.
Like, I'm following it. And it was the same thing thematically, and I'm sure we'll get to this in a moment, but at the conclusion of the episode, where like obviously the whole of the conclusion with Alan, and the fact that Alan's been there the whole time, and he like is controlling and is getting off on controlling this whole planet, and it's like a commentary on incels and male entitlement, right? Or like a sense of male entitlement. And she says like, planet of the incels. And I was like, oh, girl, like, I know, like that, like, leave us to infer that. Like, it was very apparent that was what it was doing. I don't need the episode to tell me that that's what it's doing.
And I do think you're right in that it's sort of Doctor Who grappling with the fact that it's a show for children, and it has to try and aim itself for children.
But that is a great example of
family shows don't really exist anymore.
But children don't
TV
know what an
really
incel
exist anymore.
Children don't know what an incel is. They don't need to know what an incel is.
So you're explaining it to the wrong people.
Yeah, those themes are for the older audience anyway, for the young adult audience, for the adult audience. And it's nice to be able to, like, you know, part of the experience of consuming media and consuming art is being able to pat yourself on the back for deciphering those themes yourself. Having the characters tell me, I don't enjoy that.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. Yeah, I think that's probably something that will bug me more on a rewatch. I think that's the problem. Is I think it affects rewatchability when it's like, okay, I've watched it once, I already understand it, and now it's having to sit through the explanation 100 more times when I naturally go and watch this episode 100 more times in the next 10 years or something. So yeah, I completely get that.
And it makes you go, oh, well, I'm not going to try and look for more subtext in this episode in a rewatch because
it's going to tell you everything.
Yeah, I know that the way it's written is that if there were subtext for me to find, they'd have explained it to me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think, Josh, about the choice to make it about incels?
Oh yeah, great idea. It's actually, okay. I think it's well worked in. I think because obviously you get it straight from the off. I think like one of the first things that Alan says is, "I know girls aren't good at maths, but that's very far away." Like it's just, you're immediately like, "Oh, this bloke's a bit of a twat." Like, yeah, I really liked the way that I wasn't expecting it. That's the thing. I thought it was just I thought what they were setting up in the first scene was just going to be like Belinda being like, oh, it's just a stupid boyfriend who was a bit of a dick like 17 years ago. I thought it was just leading up to a line like that. But the fact that it actually came back in some way, and then obviously the twist, which, again, I genuinely didn't see coming. I thought, oh, maybe they're going to do a Wizard of Oz thing because it looks very Wizard of Oz-y.
Yeah.
It's very much a Wizard of Oz.
I loved the way it looked, by the way. The sort of lazy eye of the robot was cool.
Yeah.
What did you... So, maybe this is something I don't understand about the episode, having just said that I'm too clever for it. When Belinda tells Alan that it's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for her, what are we meant to believe there? Are we meant to believe that's her telling the truth? Or because it kind of felt like the stars was Alan's thing and she didn't really care, and it was kind of a gift that was a bit about him. But she then puts the certificate, she still has the certificate on her wall 15 years later.
Yeah, funny one that. The keeping the certificate is a little bit of a... Because I would have read that in a way of, oh, she's young, naive, she's people-pleasing.
Sure.
And now, 17 years later, she's not that anymore. And that's a really...
But the fact it's on her wall,
and her growing
kind
up,
of undermines
but the fact
that.
it's on a wall does make me question that. Like, if it was
in a drawer...
If it was tucked away in a drawer, I think it would have worked better.
Just with,
I do agree.
A load of old... if it is in a drawer with like a load of old crap, like
I do agree.
It would have been kind of funny for her relationship with Alan as well. Like, kind of, I don't know. It's like a bit of a fuck you to this loser that it's kind of just
and I think that genuinely would have been better because, like I said, I think then you could have a reading of it of she was a bit young, she's a bit naive. Like when we're teenagers, we do people please and we do sort of go, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to say to your boyfriend when he buys you a gift.
Yeah, and then it emphasises that 17 years later, the world has happened to her, as it's happened to all of us, and maybe she's not as quick to people please, and it would emphasise that a little bit further
on the wall.
But it's framed,
it would have been kind of funny if she'd I don't know, used it as a scrap of paper to write a phone number down or something.
That would have been great, yeah.
Or made a roach out of the corner of it or something.
Yeah.
Not in Doctor Who, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, she's just sparking up in the corner and then these robots smash in. It's,
for sure.
I love that. She's made a spliff out of the certificate. It's fantastic. I fucking love that. Did the twist land well for you?
I think it did,
It really landed for me.
Yeah, I think obviously it wasn't the most in-depth exploration of the topic of inceldom and meninists or whatever, but it doesn't need to be. It's Doctor Who, right? And I don't mind that it's just gesturing at that.
It's like that. It's like the equivalent of Barbie feminism, really, isn't it? It's sort of early learning centre. My first experience with incels.
Sure,
really.
but it's also just you know, those kinds of men are the sort of people women deal with all the time. And I think it actually just fleshes out Belinda's character, that she's dealt with all of these men like through her whole life, like every woman has. You know, even when she complains about like the doctor not doing anything while the nurses do all the work,
Yeah.
you know, obviously doctors are women as well, but I think it was significant that the doctor is a man in this situation. And you can just imagine these like male doctors, you know, that male doctor female nurse dynamic of like
Yeah.
being ignored, being taken for granted. And
Yeah.
I think she's such a believable character from the get-go.
Yeah. It's really, really good. And I think as well, it's that I like the timey-wimey, to use a cringe term, but they used it all the time. So why not?
It really, really made me laugh when she said, "Am I 6?" It really made me laugh.
But that twist, that part of the twist where it's the fact that she said it on the ship. She said, "Go and get Alan." So they then, in the 6 months, went and got Alan and created this entire thing from scratch because he went back too far.
Yeah.
Was really clever. It's very much, I think this episode is very much Moffat ideas wrapped in a Russell T Davies season opener.
For sure.
It's the first time where I've thought, yeah, this is Russell, not trying to do Russell of 15 years ago. This is Russell looking back at, what's come in between. Maybe there's things there that I can play on, because Russell never really messes with time travel. That it's just not.
No, not especially.
It's not been a thing really in his first era, and it's not done much of it in the new series either, but like little bits here and there. But this is an example of, okay, there's been 10, 12, 13 years of Doctor Who in between my last story and now. What are some things in the toy box that have come out since I was gone that I can play with? And
how can I push myself as a writer? Like,
yeah, I think it is his best.
Yeah, I had such a good time with this.
I think Wobbly Yonder is the best story of his era so far, but this is probably second for me so far as his best script. I think it's what I expected from series 1, really. It's what I thought, if we're getting Russell back, we're going to get parts of it are going to be the same Russell as before, which is great because, you know, loved this first era, but there's going to be some added maturity, some added experience from the last, you know, because when he left, he was like going up a peak, and now he's very much like this messiah of British TV. And he's come back, and I just really, really liked it. I absolutely loved it. The only other thing that, obviously, because we touched on it earlier, that I've got written down, I wrote in my notes twice. I wrote halfway through the episode, I wrote conflict, quiet moments, cinema. Because that whole scene that you mentioned before, like when Belinda's sort of tending to patients, and that is another example of something that's just been missing for me so far in this era, and has come back. I find myself watching like series 1 episodes, and I'm like, just have a minute, just give me 2 minutes, take a breather. And whenever they did do that, I was like, that's a lovely moment. Like in Space Babies, when you've got that moment with Captain Poppy, where the Doctor's sort of saying everyone's different, and that, I was like, that's a great moment. And we're losing moments like that.
Yeah.
I wondered if it was runtime, because I was like, is 42, 43 minutes long enough in the modern era when you've only got 8 episodes to fit
evidently
these moments
it is.
in? Yeah, it is now. Yeah, I think the pacing helped that. I think getting all your action in the pre-titles. Because, like, compare this to Church on Ruby Road. I like Church on Ruby Road. How far into the episode are we before Ruby's in the sky? That's, like, you can literally compare how long until Ruby's hanging from the ladder compared to how long until Belinda's. And do we lose anything, really?
Not really.
In compacting that into 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we gain a lot more in that then allows you to have that moment with the Doctor there.
Yeah.
A little bit longer at the end as well.
But it also, like I said before, suits Belinda's character and suits her journey, that we're like yanking her out of her life against her will and putting her in this Doctor Who story before she's had the chance to realise she's there.
Definitely.
Just so cool. Such a cool character. I'm so excited for the rest of the series now. Like, so excited.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So how are you feeling now about the rest of Series 2?
So excited. Like, I think I'm just gutted it's only 8 weeks. Like, I know that's again, I'm being so moany, but like it's a positive thing I'm saying, really, because what I'm saying is now I've seen these characters interacting, I could spend, double that time with them, know, and
I suppose the thing is because of the uncertainty of when the fuck are we going to get another series? We might not get another series till 2027. Let's be, if it does happen,
let's be optimistic.
That's also a question as well. If it does happen, like it's come out this week. Shooty's doing a play in August for 3 months.
We're not getting more Shooty Hour. No, like.
Do you think he's gone at the end of the series?
I would look, I don't have a lot of money, but I would put a lot of money on that.
But I think, based on the Robot Revolution, if the rest of the series is more of the same, I'll still be a bit sad because I'll feel like, oh God, that's one great series. But I got that with Christopher Eccleston, and I can take that. That's fine. And then I got a little bit extra with some good episodes in. I would be leaving Shooty with probably the same amount of great stories as Christopher Eccleston got, and that's okay. I can take that. That's if every episode is this level, and that's what I'd be happy with.
Which admittedly is optimistic.
Optimistic. I mean, I'm still cautious. I'm more excited than I was. My hype levels are back up. I'm still cautious because some of the chat beforehand from Russell, from the cast, has been, obviously Belinda challenges the Doctor, but realises they're the best person on the planet Earth. And I'm like, okay, I want to maintain this level. I don't want them like kicking the shit out of each other every 5 minutes. I don't want that. But the level of conflict in this story is great, and the fact that she questions him, and I really hope that maintains throughout the series.
Yeah, me too.
Worry about getting to episode 3, and we revert to type, and Belinda's aired all of her grievances, and now we're just dancing through time again. That's my only worry. I mean, I don't know what to feel about the finale because I don't know anything about it. I mean, Wishworld looks a bit weird and nuts, and I'm actually sort of up for that. It's just what kind of a Russell T Davies finale are we going to get? That's always the question.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really excited as well for new writers and this 3-episode run of, well, it's 4 because we've obviously got the co-write for episode 3, and then we've got Pete McTeague, and then we've got Anira Ellams and Juno Dawson. I'm excited for that run. I'm really, really excited. Just not because I don't want to hear more from Russell, because after this, if it's more of this, then I do. But
also, let's be real, in a Russell T Davies season, even when it's a guest writer, you're hearing from fucking Russell.
You're still hearing Russell.
That's the way he manages the show, and it's the way he's always managed the show. Unless it's a Stephen Moffat script.
Yeah.
In which case he leaves him to it.
He's very hands off. Yeah.
He's hands on when it comes to newer, younger writers.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued. Do we have anything else to say about the Robot Revolution, about Series 2, before we move on to the listeners' thoughts?
Oh shit, I forgot listeners' thoughts. No, let's just move on to listeners' thoughts, please.
So it's time for that wonderful little segment that is in every episode of Who Knew, and it's Bloody Twitter.
For God's sake! Bloody Twitter!
So, Bloody Twitter. We've got some messages in about the episode. We'll rattle through these. Thomas Beach at TPD Beach said, "Me and Mum found it very fun. Felt like a spiritual successor to something out of the 6th or 7th Doctor era. Robot Revolution felt like the kind of classic Who story that's often dismissed as cheesy or cheap, but is now given so much more budget and pathos, excited for more. I'd say I agree with that. It's very much like the kind of story that would have been made for like 15 quid in 1985 or something.
I agree, and everything would have taken a million years longer.
Yeah, it would have been like a 6-parter. Belinda wouldn't get off the planet until like part 4.
And Belinda wouldn't be from present day Earth either.
No,
They'd complicate it by Belinda also being from the future or something.
yeah.
And all of the Miss Belinda Chandra 1 people would
be white men who talk like this.
Yeah, they'd all be white men, and they'd all talk.
We'd know all of the intricacies of some sort of Miss Belinda Chandra 1 mining corporation.
100%.
We'd know everything about them, and there'd be tax disputes probably.
Yep, no question.
Something like that. And and the robots would have looked so horrendous.
Bad.
I sort of want to see it. I don't know why.
I really want to see it.
I really want to see it.
Yeah, but no, I broadly agree with that person, yeah.
And I also want to see Colin Baker, like, doing the 9th word scene.
Just making it, like, super bait.
Really over and unseen.
Yeah. I want to see Colin Baker saying "Yas Queen" and doing a big kick and saying "Padam." Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. I need it.
Yeah.
The next message is from Madman in a Box 4, but I haven't seen the first 3. The Robot Revolution was a more successful take on a Douglas Adams-esque story than Space Babies did. The latter felt like a one-off punchline or throwaway comment from a Hitchhiker's Guidebook, where the plot of the Robot Revolution felt like it could be a chapter or a subplot. Decent start. I put this in because I'm reading the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books for the first time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I very much agree. It would fit in there beautifully.
Yeah. That conceit of she had the certificate and now the planet's named after her, and that's very Douglas Adams.
Yeah, it's really
dare
good.
I say, Douglas Adams would trust his reader to work out what was happening in the episode.
Definitely, yeah, he was. Yeah,
but
because he does not stop for any explanations at all. So I am having fun reading them.
They're
really,
brilliant.
Really they're so fucking good. Matty at Me Likey Doctor Who said, loved it, probably the best series opener since the pilot. We've touched on that. I would say that's probably where I'm going to land.
I think it might be better than the pilot, actually.
Yeah, I think it might. I think it might edge it.
Because also the pilot's got that same thing where, like, Peter Capaldi and Pearl Mackie are amazing.
Yeah.
But actually, the story's a bit... There's no real substance to the story.
Yeah, it's a bit of a... the plot's just there to...
It's quite derivative.
Carry it up, really,
yeah.
I do like The Woman Who Fell to Earth, and I do have a soft spot for the chaos of the Halloween apocalypse, but... Because it's just chaos.
I mean, it's just mental.
It's just everything. Let's just chuck it. Like, when the Sontarans popped up on screen in that, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm
funny.
here.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
along
really
for
funny.
the ride. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Cal King on Instagram at Cal_King_Insta. Dear friend of the show, has said, honestly feels like a swing and a hit for Russell T Davies. Belinda is instantly likeable and feels real, and her dynamic feels different from Ruby and 15, with her holding the Doctor to account. I love how she instantly got stuck in. I love the incel stuff, and it's the exact critique of that shit that we need. Really intrigued by that ending. So much to say, not enough words. At least a solid 6 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10, not settled yet. So that's positive. I think I'd pretty much agree with everything there.
Very funny that person was like singing its praises like non-stop and then landed on 6. God, there's no pleasing a Doctor Who fan, is there? There's no pleasing.
It was perfect. It was fantastic. It was the greatest media I've ever seen. 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
The critique.
I've done that before. I
also like that they said that is the critique of the incel culture we really need at a time when adolescence is doing the rounds.
Everywhere.
I think. Is this going to become the next? Will we be asking politicians?
It in the schools.
Have you seen the Robot Revolution? Show the Robot Revolution in the schools.
Yeah, this is the primary school. that you get this in year 6 and then you get
Sure.
adolescence in year 7. It's the
Yeah.
double bill.
Yeah. Nice.
And the final message is from Obmo at obsessed_moron.
Okay.
And they said, best season opener we've had in a while. I missed those precious 5 minutes, and having a bit more time to establish just Belinda or even Alan would have had me rate this as an all-timer season opener. Everything this does to set up the whole world and upcoming season is pitch perfect. So
I would agree. I mean, look, I'd never say no to 5 more minutes. I do think it's a bit of a thing with Doctor Who fans where they're always like, this episode would have been the greatest piece of media ever made if it had been 5 minutes longer, or if it. The classic one is if it had been a 2-parter, it would have been an all-time great. It's like, no, actually.
Something to help you say. I do think that obviously I think I mentioned that before, that I think that shaving of the runtime is fine depending on what you're sacrificing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think my worry is that they've been sacrificing the wrong stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But here, I don't feel like that at all. I think it's been trimmed, but the what's been trimmed is the fat, not the meat.
And there weren't too many
quiet moments.
Yeah, there weren't too many like RTD cop-outs. You mentioned the inconsistency of how the swoop worked. But that's fine. I can forgive that. The things I can't forgive is where it's a lot of old waffle that actually doesn't make any sense. And I feel like there wasn't any of that here. The story operated on cause to effect, and things happened for reasons, and there were explanations for everything that happened. And that is satisfying. And you know what? It adds to the believability of the characters, because if things are happening with no rhyme or reason, how do we get invested in the character motivations? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. How do we fear Sutek as a villain, for example, when the whole Ruby's mum thing doesn't make any fucking sense, right?
Yeah.
How do we feel anything about him? Whereas this, it's like, okay, the swoop, I'm not exactly sure what all the mechanics of that were. And actually, maybe it'll get explained more as the season goes on, because actually we don't know what happened with this route. But it didn't matter, because the important thing was, we know who Alan is as a character. We understand exactly how he operates. We know exactly why this situation's appealed to him. What he's getting out of it, how he's exploiting these people. Do you know what I mean? It was like, it was really, it made sense character-wise.
And I think going forward, it has made, like I said, it has made me more excited for Series 2. It's also, I mean, a lot of the rumours around Series 2, well, we won't go too much into them because it's all speculation. We have no idea really what the plan is. We know some things from trailers and things like that. But obviously, one thing that we do know is that Series 2 and 1 were written together. And it's been very much reiterated, maybe not reiterated enough, that this is a 2-series story. And if that is the case, this does give me a little bit of hope of maybe there's going to be parts of this that might retroactively make parts of Series 1 a little bit better. We're in dangerous territory there, because I'm aware that I'm relying on Series 2 to make Series 1 good. But I don't know.
Baby boy,
Maybe.
I don't think we're getting that pointing at the road sign shit explained. I think that is
probably not. No.
That's something we gotta get over.
I can't. Just can't. No, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm over Series 1. If this has very much been therapy for me watching this episode.
Lovely.
Because it's made me feel so much better about Doctor Who.
It's made you horny for Doctor Who again.
Yeah, I want to fuck Doctor Who again.
Sometimes you've just got to suck it up and get on with the foreplay.
Yeah.
And that's, do you know what I mean? You've got to go,
head down,
maybe I don't feel hot.
Think of England.
Get your head down and get involved. And then before you know it, you got a stiff on.
I think that's a lovely place to leave our episode discussion. Before you
Lovely.
know it, you've got
Lovely.
a stiff one.
Yeah.
Oh, sperm. We didn't touch on sperm.
We didn't touch on sperm. That's okay.
Surely I need actually Beth Axford is very good at this, at pinpointing the only
Is it the
usages
first
of word.
use of sperm?
I need
I
to know
fear
if
it
it's the
could
only
be.
use of sperm. Surely, unless a sperm whale has been mentioned, that could be our only hiccup.
They didn't. I noticed it was like he said it was microscopic, so I guess it was
Yeah.
like a single sperm.
What I
It
wanna
wasn't
do-
like a puddle of jizz.
Yeah, it wasn't all of the potential Allens that could
yeah,
have
for
existed.
sure.
What I might do is, just for all future episodes of Who Knew, is just have a sperm counter in the corner. Just for every time sperm gets mentioned in Doctor Who, it just ticks up
I
one.
wanted
and I think it'll
a
probably sit
puddle
at
of
one for a
jizz
while.
and a 10th Doctor. A 10th Doctor.
Oh God!
Sorry, that I realised there's no video.
That didn't work. That didn't work for audio. But I think
listeners,
that's quite a good thing.
I put my finger in my mouth.
This is I mean, bearing in mind this is the first instalment of this run of episode
I'm so
coverage.
sorry.
It's gone off the rails already, but I'm really enjoying it. And there's no way to send it more off the rails than to do a fan favourite segment, of course.
Oh, another segment. Shit. Okay.
Just one segment, yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay.
I've got to quiz you.
Let's do it.
It's Quiz Chibnall.
Okay. Fine.
So, obviously taken on a new meaning since I quizzed Chibnall with Quiz Chibnall.
My God.
I quizzed
You quizzed
Chris
Chibnall
about Chris Chibnall. I did Quiz Chibnall with Chris Chibnall. I had to, because
how did
Quiz
he take
Chibnall's been around for a few years.
How did he take the
He loved
pun?
it.
Yeah, okay.
He
nice.
very much loved it. I did say it was nearly called Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
And I think he was happy that I landed on Quiz Chibnall. I think he was on it. Now, in terms of how he got on, I gave him 4 questions. Not the best. He got 50%. But at the moment, I did, because the segment is named after him, he's very much the honorary Quiz Chibnall champion at the moment.
Right, okay.
So you are in a position to try and take that crown from Chris Chibnall.
Oh my God. This is so exciting.
So
I feel like I'm on top gear.
What I'll be doing over the next 8 weeks is doing a little quiz, a little teaser thing that is linked in some way to the episode. Obviously, this week we had a new companion introduced.
Sure.
In Belinda Chandra.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to be asking you, I'm going to be giving you the first lines spoken on screen by various companions.
Okay.
And you have to tell me which companion it is.
Fuck. Shit, okay.
I would say this very much gets harder as it goes on.
Like you during the new episode of Doctor Who.
For God's sake. Yeah, like that. Exactly like that. So I'm going to give you the line. You've got to give me the companion.
Okay.
It is very much the character, not the actor. So if the actor has been in the show before,
sure,
as a different character, which has happened a few times,
Adiola,
it has to be the
et al.
same. Yeah, it has to be confirmed as the same character.
Okay, fine.
I want to reiterate that. And it's their first appearance, their first line. So the first one, and that's how I got my name.
Oh, it's Ruby Sunday.
Correct. Well done. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's very much the easiest of the bunch.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Right.
So, question number 2. Passport.
Okay.
Think about it.
Passport. Are these all new Who or some of them classic Who?
All of Who is in contention. Classic, new, and new. If you can.
Oh, is it? It's not Tegan.
Do you want to say Tegan?
Tegan Yavanka.
It's Tegan Yavanka.
Yay!
Well, she walks out of the door of her house and she goes, passport, because she forgot.
Okay, lovely.
I want to say we've had trouble on Quiz Chibnall before where TARDIS Wiki is the least reliable site on planet Earth.
Sure.
And people have tried to kill me for this.
Okay, fine.
I want to say I did not use TARDIS Wiki. I I scrolled through every episode and
Nice.
trawled
I trust
through
you.
and
I trust
found
you.
the lines.
Okay.
Number 3. Yes, Professor? Said as a question. I'll give you that. Yes, Professor?
Okay. Now, this feels like a slight trick because it feels like you want to say Ace. Because she obviously calls the Doctor Professor, but I feel like it's not Ace because why would she say that straight away? I'm gonna say Victoria. No, it's wrong.
You were in the right. Your logic was right, but your answer was wrong. It is Sarah Jane Smith in The Time Warrior.
Okay.
But that's okay. To beat Chris Chibnall, he got 50%.
Okay.
If you beat 50%, you got to get 5 of these. I
Fine.
think you can do that. You've already got 2. You're up early. What's happening?
Okay.
I'll repeat for those of you at home who may want to play along. You're up early. What's happening? This 30-second silence is great podcasting.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. This happens on Quiz
You're
Chibnall.
up early. What's happening? It sounds New Who. Oh, God. These are hard, Josh. Why are you doing this to me?
They get harder.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. If you're gonna take the crown from actual showrunner Chris Chibnall, your sworn enemy, of course.
Fuck.
Then I've got to make it tough.
I know.
I mean, I
You're
did
up early, what's
quiz
happening?
Chris Chibnall about his own episodes, so he maybe had a slightly easier deal.
Yeah, huge advantage, actually.
He's a showrunner. What am I going to do?
I don't know. I'm just going to stab in the dark and say Jamie.
Incorrect.
Mm.
Incorrect. It's Martha Jones on the phone.
She gets a phone call. Fuck.
She gets the phone
Okay,
call.
Fine.
Yeah. This one.
Okay.
Ladies, please.
That is Captain Jack.
It's not. It's not. It's Yasmin Khan.
Okay.
Okay. We're on rocky ground here. You need to get one. This one's hard.
Oh, no.
Nothing there. I will say there's a technicality because they're walking
Okay.
and they're muttering, but this is the first clearly spoken line that has a subtitle that isn't just muttering. They're going, nothing there.
I'm going to say it's Ian.
Ian is incorrect.
Oh!
It's Nardole.
Okay,
When he's walking, he's looking for the TARDIS
Fine.
at the beginning of I feel like you're getting upset.
I'm getting upset. When you said this was the nature of the quiz, I thought I was going to do quite well, but
You started very strong.
I
but
did.
We need some good ones here. This one might be a bit easier. Do not beg, Thomas. What I said was the truth. I feel like you can nail down what era that's. Well, at least whether it's classic or new
That's
that dialogue.
classic Who.
It's got to be. Do not beg, Thomas. What I said was the truth.
Adric?
Oh, no.
Oh, God, Josh.
So
Please
close.
don't.
It's Leela.
Please don't leave this in.
I have to.
Put myself to
This
shame.
is the nature of the game. We're starting strong this series.
Okay,
this
how many
run.
questions is left? Because
have
my
3.
laptop is dying. Okay,
You have
let's
3.
speed run it.
Okay. Oh, scared. I'm gonna redo it. Oh, scared. It's in answer to a question. I'll give you that.
Mickey.
No, it's Wilfred Mott.
Oh, fine.
It's. I hate doing this to people.
I feel
it's really
so
cool.
upset.
Maybe this was a bit too hard. Doctor, I
Joshua,
yeah.
come on now.
Look, think about it.
It's Rory. It's Rory. It's Rory.
It's not.
Oh, okay. Who is it then?
It's Joe Grant, because I was trying to give
sure.
you that one because maybe you'd know that she'd already know he's called the Doctor.
Yeah. I think I thought it was a trick, and that it was when Rory is talking to the
Yeah.
doctor in the hospital.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
fair. Thank you. This is your last one.
I don't even think I want to entertain that with an answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Think about it.
I'm gonna say it's Belinda.
Correct.
Hey!
It's Belinda Chandra. So you started
I've not
really
taken
strong.
the crown
You
from
ended
Chibbers,
strong,
unfortunately.
but the middle was a bit very much like Russell T Davies' second era.
Yeah,
Start
for sure.
strong, ended strong, bit iffy in the middle. You haven't taken the crown from Quiz Chibnall.
No.
That goes on to next week, to my next guest. But you've done well.
Look, this is
you've tried your
karma
best.
for all of the rude, nasty things I've said about Quiz Chibnall on my podcast.
Very true. He's got your back.
He's got me back.
Absolutely got your back. Well, that brings us to the end of the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Josh.
Please take a couple of minutes to just however long you've got left on your battery to
plug what I need to plug.
Whatever you want to plug.
I'm going to do this very quickly.
Yes.
Because my battery is going to die. So my podcast, Galactic Yo-Yo, I'm in some way or other covering every episode this season with a fantastic special guest each time. It's available everywhere you get your podcasts. As usual, I'm starting the season by getting some non-Doctor Who people to watch the episode.
Exciting.
This time it's my two flatmates. Going to watch it with me tomorrow. Also, I have, if you live in London, I have an upcoming comedy cabaret. This isn't Doctor Who related, but it is going to be a lot of fun. It is on
amazing.
Tuesday, 22nd of April. It is called the Late Show with Molly Martian. There are a lot of lates, but it is actually only at 8:00. It's me and 4 special guests, and it is a comedy night in the style of a TV chat show. It is at the Greyhound in Peckham.
Well, that sounds fantastic, and I will link all of that in the
Thank you so
description.
much. Thank you so much.
Please go, because if you like, if you enjoyed, I was talking about fucking Doctor Who and sperm. I'm sure it'll be more of the same.
There'll be more sperm. I can confirm.
More sperm than just one.
More sperm than just one. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you. You've been listening to Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast. I, as always, have been your host, Josh Carr. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. It's all going well at the minute. We're actually in the charts. I can't fucking believe that.
Stunning.
We're in the TV and film Apple podcast charts, so I want to stay there. I want to latch on to I just overtook Quentin Tarantino yesterday.
That's amazing.
So that's quite cool. And I was sandwiched between Mark Kermode and Quentin Tarantino, which sounds like a film bro's dream.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. So thank you all for listening. Please, if you hear from the Quiz Chibnall episode, please stick around, because there's going to be plenty more of these, and then loads more interviews after Series 2 is done. And you can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Who Knew Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, whoknewdwpod, and you can email the show as well, whoknewdwpod@gmail.com. No one ever does that, but if you want to do it, you can. All of the links are in the description as well. And I'll be back next week to cover Lux, and I'll have some more special guests. I don't want to reveal them here because it's not all locked in yet, but I will have special guests with me covering Lux. So thank you for listening. Thank you again, Molly, for joining me.
Thanks so much, Josh. Have a wonderful sunny weekend. It's gorgeous weather. So
Yes. Have a lovely sunny weekend.
Get yourself out there.
Mind the sperm.
Touch grass, for God's sake.
Touch some grass. Yeah. Thanks for listening to Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast. You can find us wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. Please give us a like, share, subscribe and a review if you can. It really helps us out. Massive thanks to Oliver Chenery for the Corridor of Fame intro and the Sononauts for lending their cover of the Doctor Who theme to be the theme for the podcast. Who Knew is a New Kid Media production.